contrast between domestic form and European form for Roma, but they are hopeful of making it out of the group stage of the Europa League. As for Palermo, well, they narrowly avoided relegation last season, and it looks like the script is being prepared for them to have to attempt to do exactly the same thing again this season. Palermo in their change colours tonight, normally in the all pink, but as you can see, in the all white this evening here in the Stadio Olimpico. Before we get started, the Serie A anthem will ring out around the stadium. Very Italian. Puts you in the mood for Serie A football. So let's have a look then at the teams. 5 changes to the Roma side that began Thursday's Europa League draw here against Austria Vienna. Wojciech Szczesny returns in goal. Emerson at the back, De Rossi into midfield, and Edin Dzeko and Mohamed Salah up front. Dzeko with 7 goals this season. Salah has 5. As for Palermo, 5 changes for them as well, including 2 at the back. Perhaps no surprise given their heavy defeat to Torino on Monday. Cianek and Goldaniga come into the defensive trio. Morganella returns on the right side of midfield. Gazzi comes into the centre together with Bruno Henrique. Just 1 victory in 8 Serie A matches so far this season for the team from Sicily. See that in the Premier League, the microphone get in there right up front. It always gets you right in the mood. Gianpaolo Calvaresi in charge of our officials tonight in Rome. The unmistakable figure of Radia Nangalan there, centre of the team photo. We saw there Francesco Totti, a little brief glimpse of him on the bench for Roma tonight. Edin Dzeko, 7 goals already this season for him. Dzeko has scored more goals this season on his own than Palermo have managed in Serie A this season. Roberto De Zerbi, recently appointed coach of Palermo, took over in September after Davide Ballardini resigned after just 2 matches of the season. Luciano Spalletti, as you can see there, that's the league record for Roma this season, 5 wins out of 8. Just waiting for the signal from down below. Away we go then. Palermo in their change colours of all white, kicking from left to right in this opening half. Just 1 victory for them this season in Serie A. Roma have won 5 of their last 8 Serie A encounters with Palermo, including both games last season. The last meeting was a 5-0 victory to Roma, and to be perfectly honest with you, Kevin Gallagher, you wouldn't be that surprised if it was to end in another emphatic victory for Roma tonight.
No, and I think they'll be expecting that. You know, the changes have brought back in fresh faces again from Thursday night, and they'll be expecting it. Look, they'll be going attacking. They'll be trying to keep this Serie A record going at the moment of 100%. And who better to have than a team that's struggling at the bottom to score goals?
Played back by Juan. Here's Federico Fazio on loan from Tottenham. Italian capital, played back by Nangalan. That 5-0 victory back in February. Edin Dzeko got the 1st and 5th. Mohamed Salah got the 3rd and 4th, so doubles for both of them against Palermo last time out. Seydou Keita getting the other goal for Roma in that 5-0 win. Nangolan with the touch, perhaps a little lackadaisical with it. Nestorovski tried to get on the end of it. Nangolan with the challenge. Foul on Diamante. Former West Ham player, had a loan at Watford as well in his career. Early touch here for Siennek. Away by Fazio. De Rossi. I think Nangolan's got a whack in the face there. Maybe a poke in the arm, possibly.
Well, the two of them have gone up early for the header, hasn't he? He's gone, he's trying to knock it back, and I just think he's just took a little knock just above the eye. He's certainly moving okay at the moment.
The one thing this match here at the Olympico doesn't usually end in is a draw. None of the last 10 between these two sides here have ended level. 7 wins for Roma and 3 for Palermo. Fazio, won by Manolas, almost cut out there on the far side. Sami.
De Rossi already, he's clapping his hands, he's trying to G his players up. You know, it's a little bit too easy the opening few minutes. Palermo just letting Roma pass it in front of them at the moment. It's not causing any problems.
Foul on Emerson by Ali Sami.
He's unlucky to get away with that. Ali Sami just getting a hand round it. It's a little slip, isn't it? Referee a little bit quick to the whistle.
Fazio. Spent the second half of last season on loan from Tottenham at Sevilla in Spain. Chase on here for El Shawal. Oh, that was terrific. Foul on Nangolan.
He's been lively, Nangolan. He's looking to get involved at every opportunity.
He keeps his tattooist busy, doesn't he?
Oh, certainly.
Paredes will take this free kick. They're all lining up on the far side. De Rossi making a run at the back. This will be a corner.
It's not so strange when you're getting players back, but Palermo have every single player back inside that 18-yard box, and sometimes you could be standing on top of each other's toes.
Again, you can see there's plenty in and around the 6-yard area, but as we saw earlier on before the match started, they can have plenty of players back, Palermo, but they still concede goals.
And that's probably why, John, when you've got so many players that they're on top of each other, and when you're trying to clear things, sometimes you leave it to the nearest player to the ball. When you should be attacking it, you're leaving it to someone else, and the opposition nip in, get a header and score a goal. And it can sometimes be detrimental to that way. Sometimes managers leave 1, 2, maybe sometimes 3 players up the park.
Dzeko trying to find a way through. Dzeko just had it taken away from him, and in the end it bounces through to Posovic, the Croatian under-21 international goalkeeper for Palermo. Challenge on Nestorovski, 3 goals this season in Serie A, 3 of them all coming away from home. Siennek. Bit Bit of pressure here for Posovic. Taken down on the far side by Chochev. Away by Fazio. De Rossi. Dzeko. Able to turn. Dzeko with the shot.
That was the first sight. He's had that goal, isn't it? Posovic very easy for him. Just a little bit of warning, you know, you see the surface. Players are slipping, sliding at the minute. Just need to get a grip with the footing.
Nestorovski made a run into the penalty area. Cross wasn't forthcoming though. Palermo get their first corner of the night. Comes off Emerson.
This is where they need to make it count. You know, Alisami, you know, got a decent left foot on him as well. Nice turn of pace, getting the corner, gives an opportunity to get players forward. You know, they have to make it count here. You know, the runs. Nestorovski's already scored from a corner kick this season, running to the near post, getting a nice little flick.
Was Nestorovski. Awkward cross, delivered deep. Manolas. Here's Emerson, former Palermo player. Had 2014-15 season on loan in Sicily. He's on loan from Santos at Roma at the moment. Here's Dzeko. Alisami comes back to make the challenge. Well, they're not very long odds on either Edin Dzeko or Mohamed Salah getting the first goal for Roma, if there is to be a first goal tonight, because between them they've scored 7 of Roma's last 9 in the league. Here's Salah. A touchdown from Diamanti. Was fouled.
Just a little bit close. 6 of one and half a dozen another. Diamanti. He's the first to go down. He's very clever, using his experience, using his body, just dragging the free kick out.
Sander Diamanti was a free agent after leaving the Chinese club at Guangzhou Evergrande. Though he didn't spend too much time in China, he had loans at Fiorentina, Watford and Atalanta. Chesney, on loan from Arsenal for the second season. Manolas. There's Paredes. Paredes with a long ball forward, finds Salah. And Elkovic is there with him. Salah looking to take on the fullback. Dzeko. El Shaarawy. Way to safety, that looked like a push, and indeed it was from Fazio. Luciano Spalletti took charge of Roma for a second time in January of this year. And in fact, he had a well-publicised falling out with Francesco Totti. At the time of these two teams' last meeting back in February, Totti was dropped from the game in February after criticising Luciano Spalletti in a television interview. Apparently Luciano Spalletti was a guest at Francesco Totti's recent 40th birthday party.
Yeah, sometimes you do things tongue-in-cheek and then you realise after it you should have actually mentioned words and saying it, but you know, his quality, even at the ripe old age of 40, you know, you see he comes on, he makes a difference. You see him during the week in the European game as well, and you know, there's only one player can get away with crossing the ball with the outside of his foot at times and setting up passes. He still gets a couple of assists. It's just phenomenal. When is he going to stop?
been an absolute primer. I must admit, I first started commentating on Italian football way back in 1998 when Francesco Totti was, what, 22, so I've been privileged to see many, many matches of his career, and it has been an absolute privilege. Foul on De Rossi.
He's one of those players as well, isn't he? That people talk about him, but he doesn't have any pace and things, but his brain is so much faster than his legs and the way that it works. And that's why, you know, as you said, he goes on and he's on. He's 40 years of age. He's still producing at the highest level with Roma. When he comes off from the bench, when he does his little cameo roles, he is such a big, important part of this football club.
Salah. Dzeko with the touch out wide. Emerson. Almost fell to El Shaarawy, away by Morganella. Emerson. Dzeko. In towards El Shaarawy. Oh! So close.
Well, the run looks spelt on as well, isn't it? You know, you're 6 men across there from Palermo, across that back line. Nobody picking him up. Morganella should have been looking over his shoulder. He should have been half-turned looking to see where El Shaarawy was. It's a fantastic run, but he's got to finish there. He'll be disappointed with that, because that early lead would have settled the nerves, and it could have been the door opening up for more goals coming Roma's way.
Stephen El Shaarawy joined in January this year from Milan, having had a spell on loan at Monaco in Liga, where he got back his match fitness, he got back his match confidence as well after various injury problems. Dzeko. Nangolan. Nangolan. Dzeko. Dzeko with the shot. Picked up by Del Rossi. Daniele Del Rossi with the ball over the top, but to nobody in particular. Roma starting to threaten.
Yeah, they're pushing Palermo back, aren't they? Morganella has actually ended up, instead of being a back three and the offence counter-attack, Morganella is actually playing almost as a full-back. Alisami is a little bit further forward, but gets dragged back in. It ends up 5 across the back. And then Diamante and Chochev get pulled back in. It ends up a 5 and a 4 back. It's Nestorovsky, the lone striker, on his own.
Dzeko. Nestorovsky making the run ahead here of Chochev. Chochev had to go for goal himself. Turn is by Bruno Henrique. Back by Morganella. Morganella. Nangolan is there. Quarter of an hour gone then. Stadio Olimpico. Roma with the better of play so far. Alisami for Palermo. Nedeljkovic. Enrique. Ciunek. Poor ball cut up by El Shaarawy. Towards Mohamed Salah. And it might fall here for Salah. Takes a tumble in the area. And you can see what the Palermo players thought about that.
Well, if he's going to go down, Salah, he has to go down about 10 yards earlier, because that's when his jersey, his arm was getting pulled back just as he makes his break between the two players. But he waited, didn't he? And waited a little bit too long. This is a surprise the referee's not actually had a word. It'll be interesting to see when the ball goes out of play.
He was certainly pointing towards Mohamed Salah there, the referee. Nangolan should be cleared, and is. Taken down by Diamante. Juggling from Enrique, and away in the end by Nedeljkovic. Alisami. Chechev to his left. Nestorovsky was very much in an offside position, I think, there. They will continue, though. Roma in possession. Here's Juan, the Brazilian international, on loan from Inter for the season. El Shaarawy taking on Cianek. El Shaarawy parried by the goalkeeper, and just as Dzeko was poised to poke in the rebound, cleared to safety by Andelkovic.
This is what he's capable of doing, isn't it, El Shaarawy? He gets in, he comes inside onto his better foot, but it's a quick breakaway, you know. This is earlier, this is where he should have went down. His arm was getting pulled, and then he decided to go down, Salah. But it's... You can see why Palermo have, they don't score many goals, but they leak a lot of goals.
Salah. El Shaarawy. Well, it's set up very nicely for him there. Manolas. Emerson. Here's De Rossi. Dzeko. El Shaarawy. Looked like it might have been a Palermo throw, but Roma have got the decision. Paredes.
It's just frustration for Paredes, isn't it? But this is the dive. He waited till he went into the box. I'm surprised the referee didn't bring a card out. Realistically, that's a yellow card. You know, that's gamesmanship, not sportsmanship from Salah. He's better than that.
Roma with 16 points from their opening 8 Serie A fixtures of this season. It's the 6th time in their history that they've done that. On the previous 5 occasions they've had 16 points from their opening 8. They've ended the season at least in 3rd place in the table or higher. El Shaarawy. It's away from Morganella. Tackle comes in though from Cianek. Here's Morganella. Diamanti. Paredes. Emerson. Pushed away to safety by Pozovic. Now that's 2 long-range shots from Roma in a matter of minutes. I wonder if the word's gone out from the bench. Shoot on sight.
Well, the test, certainly testing the goalkeeper. You know, he's not held anything yet, Pozovic. You know, everything he's done, he's got a cross, he's palmed it out, and we've seen one earlier where he's palmed it out into the middle of the goals, which is a massive goalkeeping error.
Floated in high, and the header is over from Fazio.
You'll see that as a chance, Fazio. He's up for set plays, he makes a great run. It's almost a free header, he gets off. His markers are standing, 3-4 yards away. He gets a free run at it.
And in a way, that movement shows up what we were saying a little earlier, that although Palermo may have plenty of defenders back in the penalty area, quite what they're doing there is another matter.
Some type of zonal marking, but they're not actually marking zones. They're just standing there. It's almost like pinball machines, and it's up to Roma to find the space between them, not to knock the shuttles down.
Oh, love Luciano Spalletti's reaction there at the bottom of your picture. He felt that was his team's throw.
And there's been a few decisions now, isn't there?
And it should have been.
Yeah, been 2, 3 maybe decisions. They've gone the opposite way for throw-ins. But Luca Spalletti's still having a go at the 4th official as well.
Luciano Spalletti was the Roma coach between 2005 and 2009. Then he had 4.5 years with Zenit St. Petersburg in Russia.
training ground free kicks.
Need a bit more work on the training ground.
Well, it's just the timing of the run. You're looking for the run to come early. I mean, the forward player should make the run earlier. It's too late.
Forward comes Enrique. Morganella. Enrique. Nangolan's gone with him. Enrique's cross always going straight out of play. Midway through the first half, and if you have just joined us, Roma 0, Palermo 0 in our live Sunday night Serie A action. Plenty more Serie A coming up over the next few days. We've got Genoa against Milan on Tuesday, and then that's followed on Wednesday by Juventus against Sampdoria. Thursday, Palermo back in action. They're up against Udinese, two teams struggling at the wrong end of the table. And Roma, we have them live on Sunday when they visit Empoli.
It's all a bit scrappy at the moment. You're seeing the passing going astray, out of play.
Foul on Paredes by Nestorovski. I think felt there that Nestorovski stood on his hand deliberately.
It's clever play as well. You're looking from Palermo, because what they're wanting to do, they'll be wanting to slow the game down as much as they possibly can, because then it limits Roma chances of attacking and the timings that they have to get forward. So they'll be looking for any little niggle free kick that they can do, and you'll generally find that it'll all be done round about the halfway line.
Wow. Nangolan turns away from Cianek. Dzeko. Snapped away to safety. Really well-timed challenge.
Well, you can see there he was wanting that pass to be played in front of him, wasn't he? Nangolan does everything so well, but his pass was just a little bit short and behind Dzeko. He wanted it in front so he could get that half a yard to possibly get a shot off before the tackle.
Al-Shawawi. Nangolan able to get it past Gazzi. Levante with the header in field. This is Enrique. Loses out though. Al-Shawawi looking to put it onto his right foot. It almost dropped there to Daniele De Rossi.
He's almost spoilt for choice as well. He had two runners. As soon as the pressing became evident that they were going to win possession, two runners trying to get beyond Dzeko, and Salah trying to get wider, but just couldn't get that ball under control for the initial pass.
Chesney. De Rossi. Rossi's first time ball forward. Looked a bit like hit and hope.
He's trying to look at space, but it's very, very difficult with the way Palermo set up when you're looking for the spaces in between players, because they close the gaps up when Morganella goes back in and Ali Sami down the left.
Salah. Looked like a push, and indeed it was, on Sinisa Andelkovic.
It's just a one-arm push from Salah. But you see how deep the back three for Palermo go. And Spalletti is actually trying to get Roma to actually press that a little bit higher, be a little bit braver, press on top of them.
Manos. given away, picked up here by Alisami, and Alisami was just stopped, though he stopped illegally. That could well be the first card of the evening. Kostas Manolas.
I was surprised at it. You know, you always say the crossfield passes, you have to be careful. He's in danger, but it's a very, very high tackle. I'll tell you what, he's lucky. Alisami goes to ground. There's a possibility it could have gone red.
Well, certainly Alessandro Diamante was demanding red of the referee, and we saw the referee in no uncertain terms saying, I'm the man in charge, be quiet. Certainly Palermo felt there were grounds for a little more punishment from the referee. Diamante stands behind this free kick. 5 in white on the edge of the Roma penalty area, and it's just too long. Looking for Chochev.
Yeah, you can certainly see they've been working on set plays at the training ground. It's just the quality of the service has to be that little bit better.
Jacob. Palermo with just 1 win this season. It came away from home, 1-0 at Atalanta back in September. De Rossi. Well, if you take that win out of their Serie A matches this season, Palermo's results do have a little bit of a pattern to them. Defeat, draw, defeat, draw, defeat, draw, defeat. Which would indicate that perhaps, if that continues, we're going to get a draw here, but who knows? Certainly in the moment, Palermo will be not satisfied with how their evening is going. Here's Alisami. Gets away from Emerson. Not for a second time, though. Enrique. Cianek. Gazzi. Alisami. Towards Chochev. Well, that was a good run from Chochev. Nobody else, though, was on the same wavelength. Dzeko. Stabbed away by Cianek. Paredes. Here's De Rossi. Sala. Header away by Andelkovic. Emerson is no more as a left back rather than a right back. Playing at right back tonight. One at left back for Roma. Fazio. Almost dropped there for Salah. Dzeko through to Salah, through the goalkeeper's legs. Mohamed Salah puts Roma in front just past the half-hour mark. And this is a goal that Josip Posovic in the Palermo goal will not want to see again.
Well, certainly a danger, isn't it, Salah, when he comes off that right-hand side onto his good left foot. You know, he just wanders across. There's a little bit of movement in there, but he was desperate to get on the end of it. He gets on his good foot, good strike, through the goalkeeper's legs. He'll be a little bit disappointed, but there's the link-up again by those two. Dzeko, little layoff. And there was never in any doubt he wasn't going to leave it to El Shaarawy. He was taking it. Superb finish.
8 of the last 10 goals that Roma have scored in Serie A have either been scored by Mohamed Salah or Edin Dzeko. There's another for Salah. 6 goals for him this season. Made his loan move from Chelsea, a permanent one in August. Dzeko. Al-Shawawi. Dzeko. Stopped by Morganella. Gazzi. Diamante. Chochi. Popping up on the right-hand side for Palermo. Now 12 meetings against Palermo in a row here in Rome that Roma have scored at least 1 goal in. Wow. El-Shaarawy. El-Shaarawy again. Wow. Away by Alisami. Oh, it came there off Gazzi. Wipey. Converted by Dzeko. Rather fortunate.
I don't think Dzeko could believe his luck there, John. I think he was caught on his heels. If he's on his toes, his first touch would take him in, get a shot at the goalkeeper.
Bounced right back into his path off the unfortunate Gazzi, who knew nothing about it.
As you're always saying to strikers, expect the unexpected.
Roma moving up to 20 goals for the season now in Serie A. Nobody has scored more. Al-Shaarawy. Chochev. Nestorovski making the run ahead of him. Well, Chochev just stopped there. He was considering his options, and while he was considering them, Emerson came back and picked his pocket. That's a yellow. Goldeniga.
Obviously a little bit of niggling going on, isn't it? He's wanting to have a word with both captains, getting the players' little niggles going in. You know, he's going in. He's not going in dangerous on Salah, but I think it's just a little bit of afters. You see it. Tempers flaring while everybody else is having the fun and enjoyment off the side pitch.
And he's not enjoying it. The 37-year-old coach, Roberto De Zerbi. Zerbi, who appointed in September after Davide Ballardini resigned after just 2 games in charge. And by my reckoning, since President Mauro Zamparini bought Palermo in 2002, De Zerbi is the 35th managerial change. Quite a few of those have been for very short periods of time. Some of them have been returning coaches, sometimes after just a few weeks. 35 changes in 14 years.
It's a lot of changes, isn't it? You know, you're trying to get stability at a football club. I don't think you get it when you're changing all the time.
Stability is certainly a word you wouldn't use with Palermo, the club up for sale. Right. That's got to be a free kick, and that may well be another caution as well. It is. One in all sorts of trouble.
That's the poor touch, isn't it? He's full of confidence. When he takes that second touch, Diamante again, you know, he just makes himself a nuisance, gets his body in front of the defender, and the only thing the defender can do is actually take a piggyback right. It's going to be very, very difficult for Szczesny. But you fancy Diamante will take a shot with his left foot here.
It'll probably take quite a while to sort out this wall, get it back the required distance. I don't think there's any doubt really that Alessandro Diamanti is going to take it.
I think the good thing for Roma is it's a very tall wall as well. It's all 6 foot plus players that are in the wall. So it's difficult the closer you are to go to the 18-yard box to get that free kick up and over. You know, a lot of players, Diamanti especially, like to get a little bit further out, another probably 5 or 6 yards, so he can get the whip, get the bend, and get the dip on the shot.
Goldenegger and Nestorovsky in the middle of that wall, which to me doesn't look quite back the required distance. And it's edging forward as well. Diamanti!
Was it far, was it? Oh, it's close. We're talking a yard, he's gone for the pace, and a little bit of placement in the far corner, not going over the top of the wall really.
Gazzi. Alisami. Chochev. Foul on Emerson. Chochev might be in trouble. Indeed he is.
Well, we're certainly chalking up the yellow cards now.
2 apiece. Chochev and Goldenegger for Palermo, Banalas and Juan Jesus for Roma. 2 of the Roma back 4 have been cautioned.
Yeah, that's the thing, you're going to have to be careful because of that counter-attack. The defenders are always in there trying to dive in. You know, I think Juan Jesus has actually got himself yellow carded because his lack of concentration on his second touch. Manolas, I don't think could ever. The problem now, they're both on a very, very tight rope.
Chochev. Forward by De Rossi. Sala, the goal scorer, up against Andelkovic. Enrique will clear. Morganella's clearance is blocked though. Taken by Bruno Enrique, the Brazilian who turned 27 on Friday, a couple of days ago. Cieniek. Morganella. Enrique. Juan sticking out a foot and getting the vital touch. Al-Shawawi. Blocked by Thiago Cieniek. We can see what the defender thought about that.
Just handed off, isn't it? Great skill from El-Shaarawy. Cieniek doesn't know where to go.
Kostas Manolas, the Greek international. Juan just caught there by Diamanti. Diamanti is one of those players who's, how can we put it, an irritant.
I was just thinking that myself there. One of those players you don't want to actually play against because he's full of talking, winding up, got good technical ability and sometimes can frustrate you.
And he spots that Alisami is on that far side. Picked up though by Emerson. I think he and Sala rather got in each other's way there. Yesterday. Cieniek. Called by Morganella. Nangalan sliding in. Back comes Fazio. Paredes. Second goal just before half-time would suit Roma very nicely indeed. And you can see the chances and shots on target. Can Dzeko get a shot away? No, he can't. Paredes drives it in. Too many bodies in the way. Knew the challenge was coming there from Chuchev.
I'm just wondering if Spalletti's just thinking about the team are always attacking down the centre, and you know, we just see there Dzeko's in the central area, not looking to get it wide, wanting to get a shot off, but there's 9 Palermo players in front of him, all blocking a route to go. I think sometimes you just get it a little bit wider and get a few crosses in and just change the pattern of play a little bit.
So you just need to stretch that block of players a little bit more.
Yeah, because it's very narrow. When you're defending, you want to defend the 18-yard box.
Salah. Followed by De Rossi. Here's Diamante. Finds Ali Sami. Stopped by Emerson. De Rossi. One club man, Daniele De Rossi. Nangalan. Al-Shawawi. Nangalan making the run towards the near post. Stabbed behind for a corner.
Just wondering if he's hurt himself on the stretch.
And Kovic there.
You just see him here at the near post. He's holding on to Nangalan, and he's just stretching his left leg out. Just a little bit too far, probably. Most awkward position just to knock it past. Out for a corner kick.
Still feeling the effects, you can see there, Sinisa Andelkovic. Paredes will take this corner kick then for Roma. Deep, away by Alisami. Emerson, charged down. Here's Diamante. Al-Shawawi. Diamante with the challenge, and quickly back to his feet again.
He's doing a little bit defensive duties, Diamante. Can't remember him doing this when he was at West Ham.
One with the throw. Well, not a second of stoppage time is played at the end of the first half. A first half in which Roma had by far the better of the play, and Mohamed Salah's goal is the difference between the two teams, as we see there Alessandro Gazzi on the pitch. So he is the only goal. Roma in front at the break. Roma 1, Palermo 0 at half-time.